This One's Wife. Vogue shafts Meghan. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You remember a few years ago that This One's Wife appeared in The Cut magazine. It was a particularly stern picture of her that stared out, but it was the accompanying write-up by Alison P. Davies that caught many people's attention. At first blush, it seemed like another brown-nosing item about This One's Wife, but on careful consideration and rereading, it appeared that it was actually a carefully considered sarcastic takedown of the idiocy and vacuous nature of This One's Wife. Memorable observations included talking about how the candles were lit by unseen hands and the fact that This One's Wife didn't know the difference between guttural and visceral, and indeed at one point she just sat there making a noise rather than actually speaking. Alison P. Davies managed to get it under the radar, and people woke up to the fact that it was an excellent piss take of the Duchess of Delusion. Well, it looks like this might have happened again, and this time it's Vogue that's at it. An opinion piece by Emma Spector leads with the headline, "You too can make This One's Wife's As Ever holiday collection your breakup fuel." Well, I'm not sure that that's what This One's Wife had in mind for her As Ever holiday collection. I'm fairly certain that she saw it as a bastion of holiday cheer, something that would allow people to connect, and naturally using all of those meaningless words that she throws around, the fridge magnet platitudes, in order to make it seem like she cares, but she actually doesn't know how to do so, because as a narcissist she has no emotional empathy. But let's dive into what Emma Spector had to write. It's not a huge article, but there are some quite entertaining aspects of it which demonstrate that this is another piss take of This One's Wife, and that it demonstrates how more and more outlets are turning against her as they recognise that she's just a vacuous nobody who's only worth entertaining to the extent that she's willing to pay to play. The author writes, "When I was first assigned to write about This One's Wife's new As Ever holiday collection, I didn't quite know what to do with it all. I'd already written about making the Epsom salts from With Love Meghan back in March. To such effect, I might add that an acquaintance at a party gushingly told me, 'I didn't know you were funny.' Bing, piss take number one. And the fatigue I felt at the very idea of making mulled wine, which it turns out can be done with white or rosé or even champagne, piss take number two, made me wonder if my best blogging days were behind me. But nature always provides, whether it's berries for hikers lost in the woods or plot-thickening circumstances for writers worried about an organic-feeling product tie-in. The 3 bottles of wine, various jams and honeys, two scented candles, and edible flower petals landed on my doorstep on a Thursday." Now, pausing there, This One's Wife continues to send out press packs in order to try and curry favour. Well, it's worked in the sense that she's got a write-up, but for those that can read between the lines, it isn't a favourable one. "And early on Friday morning, my partner of nearly 4 years and I came to the unexpected and heartbreaking, yet mutual and surprisingly right feeling, decision to end our relationship. I don't know how other people process a major split, with crying, CrossFit, scrolling through the apps until your eyes blur, but the answer for Rax and me was clear, bubbly, and lying in wait in our fridge. Together, we popped a bottle of This One's Wife's brand 2021 Vintage Napa Valley Brut, filled our glasses, mine to the brim, his with a side of weed vape, and toasted to what we can both honestly call the best 4 years of our lives so far." Pausing there. More piss take. This person is writing about the breakup of their relationship, and This One's Wife's product products are being interwoven into that personal story, into their drama of their life. This is not the backdrop that this one's wife would want. First of all, she wants the products to be at the forefront, to talk about them, not as a prop to somebody else's drama. And moreover, she certainly wouldn't want them to be associated with somebody talking about the demise of their relationship. But that's what's happening. It actually tracks that something like this one's wife's As Ever collection would figure so prominently in our breakup. My relationship with Rax has always been anchored by luxury, or the pursuit of it anyway. Subtle jab there at this one's wife. The pursuit of luxury rather than the attainment of it. There is nothing that we loved more as a couple than scamming. Oh dear. Another jab at this one's wife. She's scamming. Which, that meant flexing our admittedly limited queer Angelino clout for the occasional free carabiner or gratis samples of cologne. He proudly refers to himself as a sense boy or a comped night stay at a luxury hotel. Obviously, the presence of As Ever in our apartment was no pure scam. I'd always planned to write about it. What I couldn't have imagined was that the candles in the mailer, pleasantly redolent of Moroccan mint, cardamom and tea leaves, and water lotus, sandalwood and California poppy, respectively, would flicker away as we each took the day off work, joyfully cancelled that afternoon's couples therapy session, a fringe benefit of breaking up, you simply don't have to do that shit anymore, and began breaking the sad news to our best friends. Perhaps the hardest part of Friday's proceedings was informing our dog, a cuddly but naughty Maltipoo rescue named Franklin, that he would have 2 Christmases this year, one with Daddy in Orange County and one with Mummy on New York's Upper West Side. In the end, Franklin bore the news gracefully, especially when we handed him one of his prized bully sticks and told him to simply go to town. I then took the 2 remaining bottles of As Ever branded wine to a series of Halloween parties, got comically drunk, and derangedly hit on straight people who had absolutely no interest in me, which my best friend pointed out later was likely my higher self's way of protecting me from a premature rebound. While I can't say that it feels good to be single again just yet, when I picture myself in the only medium-sad studio apartment that I hope to move into, sipping my As Ever wine in the bath and burning an As Ever candle while As Ever jam waits in the fridge to be mixed into yoghurt for a silly little bedtime treat, I feel like I can do it. After all, who knows more about making a hard life pivot than this one's wife herself? Ooh, bosh! And another piss take there. And there the article ends. It doesn't espouse the virtues of the products, doesn't tell us what they taste like, smell like particularly. Yes, they list the ingredients, but they don't espouse the virtues of anything that has been received from this press pack. Instead, it's a short anecdote about my relationship ended, I went out and got pissed, and we decided how we would divvy up co-parenting, in effect, with the dog. Oh, and by the way, there's this woman who's got some products. That's how it reads. The drama of the writer's relationship came first. This one's wife's piss-poor products came second. A distant second, one might add. It didn't give them a favourable write-up. It didn't tell you much about them. They were simply there in the background, which is probably how this writer regards this one's wife. This one's wife has the audacity to send one, a press pack, to Vogue. Vogue dutifully writes about it. And this one's wife, because she's a dimwit, will probably read this and think, oh good, I'm in Vogue, I've been reported on, fantastic. But as I mentioned, anybody with functioning brain cells who can read between the lines realise they've just shafted her in a similar way to that Alison P. Davis did of The Cut. They've taken the piss. This one's wife probably won't realise it, but plenty more people will. It's another failure for this one's wife. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.